Hi guys. Let's today discuss about React, and the agenda of the training today is first introduction to the single page application. We will understand what is a single page application and why we need it, and where and why React actually helps us in creating a single page application. So let's get started. So let me show you with the diagram, and then also we will be writing a small program to see how a single page application actually looks like and behaves. So coming back now, let's consider the example of a simple website. And in this simple website, we have a menu. This is the menu area where we are going to have a couple of items, like we can have home and about us and contact. So let us say that these are the three menu options available in our application this time. Now, a traditional web application would be having three pages, or we can say three separate URLs to load the HTML. For example, if I'm going right now with homepage, the moment I load the website, then there is a server, and this particular server is going to load the HTML. So the diagram goes that I'm going to, from the moment I load the page, the server is going to send me an HTML, which along with some JavaScript, which is going to load in the homepage section. So the response that is going to come is with HTML, a little bit of CS, and of course, JavaScript, which is loaded and sent from the server to the front end. Now, from here, if I go to About Us, then again, I need to make a request to the About Us. The request goes to the server, and the server again processes some data and sends a fresh HTML to the front end. So again, the fresh HTML is sent to the front end, which means a browser. And again, the entire page reloads. So you see, if there are three URLs or three menu items, we are going to have our HTML reloaded three times if we are firing these three URLs. So essentially, if I want to summarize, then I would say a standard web application, which means I would rather say traditional web application usually loads the HTML every time a new URL or page is loaded. This is in fact a problem. Why it is a problem? Because you see, this is my entire page. And when I click on the home to about us, the only area that reloads is this particular home section. If only this particular home section area is reloading, then it doesn't make sense for me to load the entire HTML. Rather, I can just load this particular home page area, and that way my application can be relatively faster, which means only the particular area of the body of this particular website should reload. We don't need to load the menu items or the footer, because these areas of the website or web applications do not usually change. So this, what we discussed right now, was a traditional web application. Then what is a single page application? Well, if I have to write about a single page application, then I would say a single page application does not reload the HTML every time. So let me write down here a single page application doesn't reload the HTML every time a new URL is fired. That means every time we load a new URL, the entire page does not reload. And the technique is very simple. The technique involves in only loading this particular HTML code when we go to a new URL. So how do we do that? We just change the section of the page that is different for the URL. And how do we do this? We do this with JavaScript, and that is called a single page application. So, a single page application is an application where the HTML does not reload again when a new URL or a new page is loaded. Or we can also say that the DOM reload does not happen. So, what is DOM reload? DOM means again the entire HTML code. So, let us now go ahead and try to create a very simple single page application to understand how in a very fundamental way we create it and what is the benefit of it. So let us again get back. So let me again create a simple folder this time, and the folder name is SPA, which means a single page application. And it's going to be very simple. So I'm going to create a file here and give it a name index.html. Index.html usually is the main file from where the application is loaded or starts. It can be index.html. For Java, it can be index.jsp. For it can also be index.js. So it usually represents the entry point of the application, which means from where the application starts. So going back right now, let us create an index.html file and write the basic code. About the editor, I'm using Sublime Text, which is available for free also for trial, and you can also get a paid subscription for this. I like it for the reason that it is easier to load compared to the traditional editors, which usually take a little bit more time. So coming back now, let me write here as the title as single page application. And then I'm going to write the script where I'm going to write a basic JavaScript code. And I also need a menu item for me. So I'm going to write here, let's make it pretty simple. So there is a div tag. I know we have HTML5 tags also, but at this moment, I just want it to be barely simple. So I'll just get started with a link, and let's give it a, since it is a single page application, ideally we would just not need a lot of links, just index.html would do. And I'm going to give it a home page, and same way I'm going to make it about us and contact us. So I have 3 URLs, and this will go to index.html. The remaining 2 will not go anywhere. So I'm just going to put hash, which means do not go anywhere. Nothing will happen when we click on this particular URL, which means it won't send a request to anywhere. So I have a total of 3 pages. The next thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a small JavaScript code. So the idea behind single page application is that it will not reload the page. We will only load the area that we want to load. So this is my menu item. I'm also going to write a main tag, which represents the main area of the web application or a website. So give it a main tag here. And now inside this, I'm going to just write hello, a heading, with hello, welcome to homepage. And then I'm going to write a div here. And this particular div, I'm going to write down here. This is the main content area. So this is going to be my home page, which means when I load the index.html, this is what is going to show up, the main area and the menu. Now we need to beautify the menu. Let me first show you how this will look. And it's going to look real bad at this moment. You can just see the basic menu items and the title and the main area. So let's at least, apply a little bit of CSS. So I'm going to just write some style tag here and a basic styling I'm going to apply to it. So first styling I need to apply is that my A tag, I'm going to give it a border, 4 pixel solid blue. Give it some padding of maybe 2 pixels. 2 pixels. Padding is spacing basically. And then let me give a margin of also 10 pixels. Then for my main tag, I'm going to give a border of 2 pixels solid gray color. Give some padding of 10 pixels, margin of 10 pixel. And the same thing I'm going to do with my div tag at this moment and save it. So let us now again go back to my page and see how it looks like. And okay, it looks kind of better, but this underline is also something I don't want here. So I'm going to go back and to remove the underline, so I'm going to write a text decoration, none. And once I reload again, you're going to see that that underline is gone and it looks slightly better. Probably a little bit of more of padding would be needed. So instead of the padding being 2 pixels, I'm going to make it 4 pixel, which is going to, you know, uh, give some space to the menu items. And you can see when I click on About Us, nothing happens. When I click on Home, the index.html is loaded, contact, and so on. So it is a very, very basic page which is created right now. Now the next thing is I want to create About Us and Contact Us, and I'm not going to create 2 pages. Rather, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just this time modify using JavaScript. So here, as you see, I'm going to just write a very basic code. It's not the best way just to tell you, but for the sake of just understanding, I'm going to write on click and just here create a function called about page and call this. And then I'm going to write here on click equal to, this is contact us. So I'm going to write contact page. 2 functions I've created, and these functions are going to now change the content of this particular main area. Coming back to my script code, I'm going to write function, and first is about page. When I click on about page, it is going to modify this particular area. Okay, which means the content inside the main. So how do I do that? On a very simple sense, document.query selector, which is a function to select any tag. We can also use get element by ID or tag name, but query selector is slightly more convenient, so I do that. This will give me the reference to this particular main tag, and I'm just going to write here .inner HTML and give it some value, which is I'm going to write here h1 and welcome to about page. I think it's a better way is to write template notation, which is backtick. It is more convenient because I can also write some variables and I can also go to multiple lines without having to worry. So then I'm going to go to the next line. And let me write now the div. And within that, I'm going to write, this is the main area of about us page. Very simple. We are going to keep it. So when I click on the About page, it is going to modify the content of this main area and it is going to change to this particular HTML code. That's all. Let me save it and again check it how it looks like. Reload, click on About, and wow, this has changed right now. So you see, this is one example of a single page application where we did not load the URL, but only with the help of JavaScript, we are able to change the contents of the page, which is always faster, by the way. Going back, similar function can be created for contact page. So the function name is contact page, and I'm going to just, use the same thing. Kindly note that this is not the most optimized code. It is just, made so that, we can just get a gist of what is a single page application. Right, contact us page, and this I'm going to change it to contact us page. Nice. Now again, let me reload my application and see, click on About Us. Wow. Click on Contact Us. It loads. And we will verify whether it is, you know, sending any request to the server. And of course, it won't, but still for our satisfaction, we will go to the Network tab in the console, which I can go by Control Shift I key, or in the three dots here, I can just go to more tools and developer tools, which is going to load my console. Go to the network area to find out, is there a request going in when I am going from home to About Us to Contact Us. And to check that, I'm going to just click on About Us, and you see no request is going here. Contact us, no request, which means all the job is done by JavaScript. And that is the beauty of a single page application, that it doesn't need to load the entire HTML from the backend. Of course, in real applications, it does contact the backend, but that is only for the data, not for the entire HTML. So this is one simple example of a single page application where we are able to change the page and the user gets the effect that the page is changing, but only that particular area changes. So now that we see how a single page application actually works, let us understand what are the benefits of a single page application and why most of the application are these days made single page. So amongst the benefits, first benefit of a single page application is that a single page application is faster. So first benefit is single page application is faster. Why it is faster? Because because entire entire HTML doesn't load. It only changes the particular area of the HTML page. And that is one of the reasons that the single page application is good. Next, another benefit is of single page application is that it takes less time to load a new page because the data from the backend is lesser. Why? Because usually we are only going to send JSON data, not the entire HTML code, and that is why the load on the backend is also less. So one of the biggest advantages is also that it is faster. Third is that server load is lesser. Server load is lesser means if you have a traditional web application versus a single page application, the server will have to do less amount of work to serve a single page application. And the reason is because main reason is because the server does less work, and most computation means most calculation, is moved to JavaScript, which runs in user's browser. This is also one of the benefits of a single page application. So there are a lot of other benefits. Another benefit of single page application is that single page application gives better user experience. Why? Because you see, every time when I click on a page, the entire HTML does not reload, which means I can still look at the page, and if the internet speed is lower, the previous page will be there, and when we get the new content, then the new content is quickly replaced by JavaScript, which means the entire screen does not become white for a moment, which happens for a traditional web application, because the entire HTML code reloads again. Whereas in this case, this is not the situation. So the page will remain the same, and the moment we get the new data from the backend, or moment my JavaScript code is ready, it will quickly change the page area, and we as a user will get a better experience, because we wouldn't be seeing the entire screen reload. So that way the user can be more glued, which means the user can also still access the existing website while the data is loading. And this is one of the main benefits of a single page application, because in today's world, if you are creating a web application, it is important that the user experience is great, so that you can get more users, which can drive more sales, more traffic, and hence more profit to your business. So that is what is a single page application. So now that we understand what is a single page application, now let us also understand what are the challenges of a single page application. We do have a lot of challenges for single page application. Why? Look at my code right now. How many pages are there? There are just 3 pages. And with just 3 pages, I have to write 2 functions, which means there is a lot of JavaScript code which I need to write as the application grows. This is a very, very basic application. So one of the problems, or rather I would say challenges of a single page application, is that a single page application needs a lot of JavaScript. So what are the challenges of a single page application? First is that single page application, SPA, need a lot of JavaScript, which means we need to write a lot of JavaScript code. Second challenge of a single page application is that, I would say code organization is more complex for a single page application due to huge amount of JavaScript. I think both points are almost synonymous, but still we need to organize a lot of code for a single page application. Because you see, just for 2 links, I had to write 2 functions. Imagine a website, which is very big. It might have thousands of pages. So we will need to write a lot of JavaScript code in order to, you know, create that same web application in single page. There is one more disadvantage. Because the page doesn't reload, there is a chance of lot of memory accumulation. What do you mean by memory accumulation? Well, if your page is still the same, it is not reloading, then whatever the variables you keep on creating by clicking on the menu items, they keep on accumulating in the memory of your browser. So if you don't code properly, if the application is not coded properly, we can face issue of memory leak. So what is a memory leak? In the shortest sense, in a simple, way, I can say that memory leak means that as we keep on using the application, the memory keeps on accumulating, which means it needs a lot of RAM. And at some point, it will need so much RAM that your system cannot afford. For example, if your application, so idea is your application keeps on using a lot of RAM to the point that your browser will freeze, which means nothing will happen in the browser, and that is where we can experience problems in our single page application. So we have to keep in mind that because there is a lot of JavaScript code, lot of variables getting created, so we need to ensure that we code our single page application properly so that the memory leaks doesn't happen. So these are the challenges of a single page application. However, still we have to proceed with single page application because today, almost I would say more than 90% of the applications are single page. So we have to go in the same direction. Now, the question comes is why do we need React? Well, the reason is because all these challenges that you see here, right? All the challenges that you see here can be handled using React. So all the challenges that you see here can be solved using React. So whatever the issues that you see here of the single page application, here, these can be handled using frameworks. So the main reason why we use React is because it helps us in creating a single page application. So coming back to the point, React is beneficial because it is meant to create a single page application. These frameworks like React are important because with the help of these frameworks, we can easily create our single page application. And that is why we use React. Of course, there are a lot of other reasons because it is quite advanced and very helpful in creating a web application. But in the core of it, the reason is this. So now let us go ahead and understand the other benefits of using React to create a single page application. Well, React, of course, is amazing because with the help of React, we can create applications real fast. But still, we have to understand why is it that most of the applications today are programmed in React. Of course, it's a great framework, but still, there is one more reason which I want to discuss with you. And that reason is that React gives us something called components, which is the heart of web application development today. So let us understand what is the meaning of a component. Imagine I'm going to create my same single page application here, which we created last time, about page and contact page. Now, the thing is, you see in this application, there are 3 pages, correct? Home, about, and contact. And we have written a lot of code for home and about. How easily we can create it in React is something we need to understand. So when it comes to React, one of the biggest benefits of React is component-driven approach. What does that mean? I think, let me think of one better example and let us try to create a layout. This time, maybe let me give you a different example. And the example is of a e-commerce application which has a menu item, then it will of course have a shopping cart. So I of course need a shopping cart also on the right side, which will show me all the items and other things. Then we are going to have a body area, and in the body we will first show in the top all the top products. So all the top products are going to show in the top selling products, and in the down maybe we can show top selling products in the top, and let us say popular products. So now this is the layout of my website, where what you see here is the menu item. So this is my menu item, and these two things which you see here, sections of the website, including the cart, are the remaining segments of my application. So what you see here is my shopping cart. This is my menu, and this particular segment of my website shows top selling products, and this below section shows most popular. So most popular means which is browsed a lot by people, and most top selling means which is sold a lot. So this is the entire layout of my application: the menu, shopping cart, top selling products, segment, or let us say section, and we have a most popular products section. If I have to create this website, it is going to be a relatively time consuming task because I have a lot of things. But imagine if I could give you custom tags. Custom tags means I'm going to say, hey, you don't need to worry about all these things because I'm going to give you 4 tags. So what are those tags? First tag has the name called company menu, and company menu, and if you write this tag, entire company menu will automatically appear. You don't need to do anything. So first I'm going to give you company menu. Then I'm going to give you one more tag, a custom tag, which means the tag is automatically available to you. How it is available, let's not worry about that. There is a tag called cart, and if you write cart like that, all the functionality of the shopping cart will appear in this area. Top selling, again top selling also I will give you one tag called top selling, and if you write top selling tag here, then you will get all the top selling products automatically. So I have one more called top selling, and then I have similar tag which is going to be most popular. So I'm going to write here most popular, and this will show all the most popular products of my e-commerce application. So you see, if I get these tags, it's really easy for me to write my code. So how easy? I can just start with a very, let me just write some code to show you. So my code is going to be very simple. First is going to be, of course, all the doc type and all whatever we write here, doc type, HTML. And then after that, let me quickly jump to the main body section. In the body section, I'm going to first write company menu, close the company menu, and automatically company menu will come in. Then I'm going to write cart, close the cart, and the shopping cart is ready. Then top selling, close, top selling, close the tag, and top selling is also available. And the same way I can go ahead with my most popular, and close the most popular. You see, what's happening here is that I am now able to create so many complicated functionalities because I have those tags available that are responsible for creating that functionality. I don't need to do anything other than writing these tags. If such a thing could happen, imagine how simpler the development would be. Not only for this project, but for any other project, I can reuse these tags. So these are called custom tags, or in the world of JavaScript frameworks, we call them components. So we can call them custom tags also, we can call them components also. I prefer to call them custom tags in the beginning so that we understand that they are end of the day custom tags for us which are doing some job. So this is the code and you can see how simple it is going to become if I have such type of tags available. And React gives you the advantage of creating such tags. With React, you can create these custom tags, which we also call as components, to create our application. This is one of the main reasons why React is so helpful in doing development, because I can separately manage these tags and I can give these tags to my developers and they can directly use them in the application without having to worry about any JavaScript or HTML and CSS code. And that is what makes these tags so wonderful and development so easy to manage. So that is what is about custom tags. Let me now get back and summarize. So to summarize, why React is so helpful, why React is great. And one of the reasons is because first is it gives us power to create custom tags, which we call components. Components are tags which have their own HTML, CSS, and JavaScript code. Developers can use them like HTML tags to get different set of functionalities. Wonderful. So that is one great advantage of using React. Another advantage of using React is, of course, it is that React gives us a lot of libraries, which means existing code using which we can do a lot of functionalities. For example, we can send requests to backend. Okay, we can show pagination and so on. So these are two main advantages of React. Of course, there are a lot more. One which I would like to say is React has excellent documentation. You can find the documentation in reactjs.org. So if you go to the website, we can find an excellent documentation and is very easy to create component based applications. Okay. So these are some of the advantages of React. So let us now get back to our next discussion agenda. We have the outline and we know what are components. We understand why they are so popular right now. So now Yes, one more important thing which I want to discuss about components, but I think probably we will move it when we start writing our own code, is that components are having their own independent environment for writing JavaScript and CSS, which means it does not conflict with other components. We will see that once we start, creating applications in React. So now let's get back to the next topic, which is React installation. Well, it's very simple. So I'm going to just give you a point-wise, guidance. First, you need to install Node. Yes, Node is very important when it comes to application development using JavaScript. Why? Because with Node we get npm, which is a tool to install applications for frontend. Without going into much complexity, I think let us now get started with how we can set up React. So first we need to install Node, and to install Node, you can go back to your browser and you can just directly Google download Node, and this is the URL. Click on this and you are going to see the download area here. Now keep in mind we have two versions, LTS and current. LTS means long-term support, and it is recommended if you are creating applications for production, which means when you are creating applications which are going to be used somewhere. Current is when you are creating some sample applications for your learning and you want to get the latest features available, which are not completely stable. Then you can go for current version. If you are going to do some learning, or if you are new to development, or you are creating an application for your commercial project, then it is recommended that you use the LTS version of application, which is long-term support, which means it is already well tested and doesn't have any bugs. Going back now, for Windows, we are going to go for .msi installer. You can just select whether it is 32-bit or 64-bit. And same thing, you can go for Mac OS or Linux binaries here. Now keep in mind, if you are using Linux, I would recommend you can just go for a tutorial, install Node PPA Ubuntu. So the recommended way is to go for installing using PPA, which is, we basically are just, already using a channel by which we can install Node. It's very simple, couple of commands, and then after that you can just follow these commands and you will be having Node installed. Using PPA is better. Do not go for direct command, which is sudo apt get install Node or yum install for Fedora based systems. You just need to use the PPA because this will give you the most updated and stable version of Node compared to the existing apt get method. So this is the link I'm going to give you, and this is just yeah. We just need to add a repository first. Okay, no, this is. Let me show the PPA one. Yes. Unfortunately, I think this is not the one. So let me go back and show you which one I'm talking about. We can go for this link here. Okay, and I'm sure this is going to, yeah, first. Okay, I think I need to stop here.